Water Tera Hisuian Samurott is on its way to complete the trio of Hisuian starter Pokemon in 7-star Tera raids. It's looking like they saved the best and most difficult for last. Welcome back to another DanSquared video, you Danimals. Bear with us, it's not the usual setup for this video, but I, Sundan, am on the road visiting my family for Thanksgiving. Both of us Dans are really grateful for our community that we built this year. We're grateful for every single one of you Danimals. On behalf of me and Moondan, to all the Danimals that also celebrate Thanksgiving, we hope you and your family have a happy and healthy Thanksgiving. It is my favorite holiday of the year. I'm excited that I got to celebrate with a 7-star Tera raid. Before we can talk about how to beat Samurott, we have to talk about Samurott itself. This Tera raid video is brought to you by the DanSquared playthrough of Cuphead. Come for the Tera raids and stay for the co-op Dan action. Hisuian Samurott could be a mixed attacker because it has an attack of 108 and a special attack of 100, but we think it's going to be mostly, if not completely, a physical attacker because of its hidden ability Sharpness. This raises the power of all cutting moves by 50%. Hisuian Samurott also has a respectable speed of 85, so some of our builds may need some speed EVs invested to outspeed it. Defensively, it is very specially frail. We should be able to abuse Samurott with special attackers and acid spray. We think Hisuian Samurott is going to have 3 themes: cutting moves, critical hits, and entry hazards. Samurott gets several useful attacks that are going to be boosted by the Sharpness ability. The first time we saw Samurott in a 7-star Tera raid, it was Bug Tera Samurott. It had a boosted critical hit rate and landed a critical hit nearly every turn. We expect more of the same in this raid. Ceaseless Edge is Hisuian Samurott's signature move. It has its damage boosted by the Sharpness ability, and it's going to set a layer of spikes on our side of the field every time it's used. After using Ceaseless Edge 3 times to set 3 layers of spikes, our Pokemon are going to be taking a quarter of their health as damage every time they enter the field. This could make it really difficult for Belly Drum users to set up later in the raid. Hisuian Samurott is Tera type Water, and for its Water stab, we think it'll either have Aqua Cutter or Razor Shell. Razor Shell is the scarier of its 2 potential stabs. It has its power boosted by Sharpness, and it has a 50% chance to lower the target's defense by 1 stage. We expect Hisuian Samurott to use a turn 0 Focus Energy to give it an increased critical hit ratio for the entire battle. Focus Energy paired with many of Samurott's moves that already have a raised critical hit ratio are going to make Hisuian Samurott land a critical hit almost every single turn against us. Swords Dance is going to further power up Samurott's physical attacking moves. There are 2 types that hit Water-type Pokemon for super effective damage, and that is Grass and Electric. Samurott can check Grass-type Pokemon with X-Scissor. This move is also powered up by Sharpness. If Game Freak wants to make Samurott a mixed attacker, it can give it Ice Beam to check Grass types. Samurott can check Electric-type Pokemon with Drill Run. It doesn't get its damage boosted by Sharpness, but it does have an increased critical hit ratio. Sacred Sword ignores the stat changes on the target, so if we use a Pokemon that's Iron Defensed all the way to +6 defense, Sacred Sword will just completely ignore that. Now that we know what we're up against, let's check out the builds that we're going to use to take down Samurott. We've got 2 special attacking grass counters, 1 physical attacking grass counter, and 2 special attacking electric counters. For a physical attacking electric counter, you can repurpose your Iron Hands that you used to take down Eevee, just change its Tera type to electric, give it the Shell Bell, and use Thunder Punch. You may recognize this Appletun from the Chestnut Tera raids and this Bellibolt all the way back from the Delphox and the Decidueye Tera raid. Fun fact, our Bellibolt to beat Decidueye was the first 7-star Tera raid build on this channel. You can find full builds for all these Pokemon in the description of this video. Here's our Shaymin build for taking down 7-star Hisuian Samurott. Our build has max special attack EVs, max defense EVs, and the final 4 in HP. Its ability Serene Grace is one of the keys to this build. It doubles the likelihood of the additional effects of Shaymin's moves. Seed Flare hits like a ton of bricks and has a 40% chance to harshly lower the target's special defense. Thanks to Serene Grace, it has an 80% chance to lower the target's special defense by 2 stages. You can only use Seed Flare 8 times even at max PP, so we have Giga Drain as a secondary attacking move and for some additional recovery. Growth increases the user's attack and special attack by 2 stages each during harsh sunlight. This powers up Seed Flare and Giga Drain. This build uses the Shell Bell held item for some recovery. To best use this build, use Sunny Day and 3 growths if you're able to. Then start swinging with Seed Flare to lower Samurott's special defense. Switch to Giga Drain if you need some extra healing or if you run out of PP and Seed Flare. Here's our Hisuian Decidueye to take down 7-star Hisuian Samurott. It's Hisui Starter Squared. Our build has max defense EVs, 208 speed EVs, and 48 attack EVs. Without any EVs or a speed boosting nature, 7-star Hisuian Samurott will have a speed stat of 207. This EV spread lets our Decidueye outspeed Samurott with a speed of 208. Overgrow is the ability all the grass starters get. It powers up all grass type moves by 50% when the user is at a 3rd HP or lower. Triple Arrows is the key to this build. It may not hit for super effective damage, but has a 50% chance to lower Samurott's defense by 1 stage. That softens up Samurott for Leaf Blade, which is this build's main attacking move. It has a high critical hit ratio to give Samurott a taste of its own medicine. Swords Dance powers up Leaf Blade. Taunt could potentially stop Samurott from using powerful status moves like Focus Energy or Swords Dance during this raid. This build uses the Shell Bell held item for some recovery. To best use this build, lower Samurott's defense with triple arrows. Then power up a Swords Dance and start swinging with Leaf Blade. Here's our Eelektross build for taking down 7-star Hisuian Samurott. This is the build that I am personally the most excited for. It has max special attack EVs, max defense EVs, and the final 4 in HP. The ability Levitate is one of the keys to this build. It gives Eelektross immunity to ground-type moves like Drill Run. This prevents it from taking any super effective damage, except on the turns that Samurott negates the abilities affecting our side of the field. Thunderbolt is this build's main attacking move. Acid Spray softens up Samurott for Thunderbolt. Charge Beam is another key to this build. It has a 70% chance to increase the user's special attack by 1 stage. We can use Gastro Acid to remove Samurott's ability Sharpness. This will take away the damage boost from many of its moves. This build uses the Shell Bell held item for some recovery. To best use this build, use Gastro Acid on turn 1 to remove the Sharpness ability from Samurott. Use Acid Spray 3 times. Use Charge. This build uses the Shell Bell held item for some recovery. Then swing with Thunderbolt till you get the win. Here's the first of the 2 returning builds on the list. It's our Appletun build to take down 7-star Hisuian Samurott. This build has max special attack EVs, max defense EVs, and the final 4 in HP. If Samurott does end up having Ice Beam, we can give Appletun the ability Thick Fat. This halves damage from fire and ice type moves. Otherwise, Appletun's ability doesn't matter. Apple Acid is the key to this build. It hits for excellent grass type damage and has a 100% chance to lower the target's special defense by 1 stage. Growth raises the user's attack and special attack by 2 stages during harsh sunlight. We set that harsh sunlight with sunny day. Reflect increases the physical bulk of Appletun and its allies. Appletun uses the Shell Bell for some recovery. To best use this build, on turn 1 use Reflect for some bulk. Use Sunny Day, then Growth 3 times. Swing with Apple Acid till you get the win. The final spot in this list belongs to one of the all-reliable Tera raid Pokemon. It's our Bellibolt build for taking down 7-star Hisuian Samurott. This build has max special attack EVs, max defense EVs, and the final 4 in HP. The ability Electromorphosis is one of the keys to this build. When Bellibolt is hit with an attack, it gives it the effect of the move Charge. This doubles the base power of Parabolic Charge from a pedestrian 65 to a whopping 130. This move also restores HP, so we don't need to use the Shell Bell held item. We can use the Metronome held item to hit for extra damage with Parabolic Charge. Acid Spray softens up Samurott for Parabolic Charge. To best use this build, use Acid Spray 3 times, then swing with Parabolic Charge till you get the win. Let us know in the comments if you try any of these builds out or what you are using to take down 7-star Hisuian Samurott. If you enjoyed this video, please consider dropping a like, leaving a comment, or using ceaseless edge on that subscribe button for more DanSquared. Thanks for watching and happy Hisuian Samurott season!